Indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me here again today on another video. I thoroughly enjoy having you here. You spending some time with me is an absolute blessing, and I do not take it for granted. Genuinely, thank you. Tell me, how have you been? How's life been treating you? Broke the fast today. Man, it's surreal. Like yesterday, I started having a sore throat. Like, it actually started with my chest, and then it like eased up, and it like started to almost like fester here, if you will. This sheer discomfort, and I'm very much one of those people that don't take too much time before I go and find out whatever it is. You know, a few Google searches later, basically find out that during fasting you can, have some acid buildup since it's not being used, and it can push up and then, cause some discomfort. And I'm like, some discomfort. I can deal with discomfort. I'm not going to break the fast just because of that. Went to bed, like all that also, recommended I drink enough water. So I drank a lot of water last night, and I was like, okay, guess tomorrow morning I'm gonna wake up feeling, fine. Won't be dealing with this anymore. Woke up even worse. And I'm like, yeah, maybe it'll get better if I drink water throughout the day. I started drinking water throughout the day, sat and had a conversation with my dad and my brother. Was cleaning a little wound I sustained yesterday dancing. Sustained? Yeah, a wound I got yesterday dancing. And I was using like peroxide. So, like, I finished basically cleaning the wound, and I look at my own hands and I see this like whiting, like it literally these pigments of white forming underneath my skin, and I'm like, that, I don't know what that is. It doesn't look right. Then I go again and I find out what that is, and basically come to the conclusion that it is a malnutrition. Or the lack of diverse food groups. If you're experiencing stuff like that, I'm like, huh. Maybe, just maybe, like the lack of all food groups might do that as well. And I was like, you know what? I think it's time. I've spent 2 weeks not eating anything. I've lost 19 pounds. It was time. And I had for my first meal a little bowl of frozen berries. And I cannot explain just how good this bowl of frozen berries was. It genuinely felt like it was the best thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. But, and there is always a but, right? I'm feeling like 30% slower than I did yesterday. Like, when you're fasting, your body uses ketones as a fuel source. And technically, ketones is a more efficient fuel source for your brain. It's lighter to burn as well. And the sugar is definitely kind of dragging me. I have to be completely honest. So I'm dealing. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so good, but I'm definitely feeling a little bit tired. Gav, thank you for joining me, my beloved friend. I haven't, dude. I saw the message, and I can say I haven't seen the original. Like, Gav has been painting his most beautiful dauber. And he basically has this techno color over the illusion of a three-dimensional background, these little cubes. And he was like, have you seen the original? So no, I haven't, dude. I would love to see it, man. Hey, Candace, I actually wanted to ask you as well, friend. Did you experience anything like that during your month fast, where you had like pigments whitening underneath your skin? The thing that's surreal to me is that it went away literally hours within me eating something. Like, I had a bunch here, and I had a bunch on the side of my finger, and it just went away. Like, I have two little spots, basically you won't even be able to see them, but that's all that's left. And it's so surreal to me, just how reactive our body can be. I feel like my body was basically telling me, bruh, with the sore throat, like, bruh, it's enough. And I was like, nah, I can go. I'm not done yet. And then, like, my body had to give me some sort of physical sign as well. It did. And then the physical sign went away directly afterwards as well. It's quite surreal. Happy for you. Well, 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 if it ain't the rootin' tootin' gobbygoob. That's freaking wonderful. Did not experience that. It's interesting, Candace. Happy for you, Melton Moore. Thank you so much, Gabi. Man, I'm just feeling tired, dude. Like I'm feeling a little bit lethargic almost. I am interested though. I'm wondering about our human ability to, not even our human ability, but our body's ability to communicate with us. You know, like we very much are mind, mind body, right? On this physical plane of existence. And we kind of associate ourselves completely with our mind. And we think of our bodies as this extension of that. When again, they're not separate. And they can't, I believe at least, they can't like operate mutually exclusive from each other. Body obviously, but I would go as far as to say mind as well. And the mind has this tendency sometimes to ignore what the body is telling it. Like I was talking to my dad yesterday about how you basically, like now recently we've been developing the actual technology for it, but I think it was That's My Boy. It was an Adam Sandler movie where he used to be a bully and then his son ended up being one of the kids getting bullied, and he basically, played in this like baseball team, and then it came out later that he was a bully. But there was like this scene in the movie that was like 2 minutes long, if it was that long, where he goes to the restroom and alleviates himself, and then the restroom tells him, hey bruh, like this thing you have to stop doing, otherwise you're not going to live a very long life. And like if we had the information like that, if all of us could have information like that, I do think that we would have a little bit more leeway, no urgency to take care of ourselves better. But because we don't necessarily get a very clear communication feedback from our bodies, we tend to neglect it for so long, and then we pay the price when it's almost too late. The reason I'm thinking about this stuff is like, is there a way for us to be even more in tune with our bodies? Can we listen to our bodies more thoroughly? Or does our body communicate effectively enough, but our mind just has this tendency not to want to listen? What do you think? Hypoglycemic, eat an apple. That's it though. Uh, it might be, Mariah. It might be a little bit of that actually. Just feel like there's a heavy brain fog just like washing over me. Wants me to take a nap. But we're here now. I'm not gonna take a nap. Hey, Angela, thank you for the silver, my friend. How are you doing? I broke my fast slowly with chia seeds and miso soup. My gut felt so good afterwards. I could tell a very significant improvement. That sounds amazing. Like I had blueberries and then a little bit of leftover from like leftover dinner from last night, and while this started happening, and this might be a part of it as well, I started exercising again. Like I'm going to prison next week. I did like maybe 50 or so pull-ups just today, and I was like squatting and I was doing push-ups. So I'm really serious about getting my body into the proper shape that I want it to be in as well. Just trying to genuinely, get all of it in alignment. I believe that I have a strong mind. I believe that I have spirit, if you will. I won't call it strong spirit. I just feel we all have spirit. But I feel sometimes I'll throw my body by the wayside because I don't necessarily assign as much value to it as I do to spirit and mind. And I don't think that's the right thing to do either. If I'm not taking care of my body, then my mind is going to suffer as a result of that. And I believe then, as an extension, my connection to spirit as well. So taking care of my body is going to be one of the steps. Have all of it in balance, mind, body, and spirit. and then we'll be healthy. And it can be difficult sometimes. It really can be difficult sometimes, but I think it's very important. I had a lobster bisque bisque soup when I broke my fast. So good. Like Viking, how was it just eating something again after that long? Like 2 weeks is the longest I've gone before, and now I went 2 weeks again. And just eating something is such a surreal experience. Like your ability to taste is is amplified beyond what you actually thought possible. Oh wait, you did blueberries. Forget about that. No, it's okay. It's completely okay, Mariah. I might have overdone the blueberries though. I'm feeling my body telling me that as well. It's like, bruh, it's fine and all that you eat blueberries, but did you need to eat so much of them? I couldn't stop myself though. I was just like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's just so freaking good. Drink water, get those electrolytes. If you feel like you need to rest, do so. Your body is exerting energy, repairing damaged cells, and creating a new. Absolutely, Candace. You know, I'll take that as my intention for today. Creating a new. Mm. Ooh, that sip of water is going to give all my cells exactly what it needs. And the ones that come afterwards as well. Kira, Burp, thank you for joining us, my beloved friend. Good morning to you, Cody. How are you doing, my friend? How does one go about fasting? You stop eating, Katie. Like, important things to take into consideration is that when you fast, your body basically has no insulin in it. So, lack of insulin is absolutely fantastic because then, with a lack of insulin, your body has the ability to start breaking down fat as a fuel source. But, and there's always buts, you know. The problem is relative. One of the caveats of not having insulin technically serves the function of keeping things in cells or taking things into cells. And as a result of that, when you don't have insulin, your body also kind of lets go of its electrolytes. So you need to make sure that you stay electrolyted, if you will. Make sure you like get some salt in. I literally took teaspoons. Like it's a little bit smaller than a teaspoon, like 3 milliliters. So 3,000 milligrams, if you will, give or take, of sodium a day, on top of taking multivitamins. Yeah, and that's about it. You just basically want to make sure your body has the micronutrients and electrolytes it needs, and then your body is going to switch over completely to burning fat. What I would recommend if you do want to do an extended fast is start with like a 3 day fast first, because quite literally your body needs to build the machinery for you to be able to fast efficiently. So if you can do like a 3 day fast, you know, to start off of, your body will basically be prompted to manufacture all of these things, and you're going to feel pretty crappy in those 3 days, you know, understandably. But then in doing so, you'll equip your body with what it needs to actually fast properly. And then if you want to try and extend it, then again, try a week. Like for me, it was like 3 days, then it was 5 days, then it was 2 weeks. That's kind of how I like went with the progression. You don't want to, I don't think so at least, you don't want to go all the way for like a week or 2 weeks fast right off the bat. Angela, hello to you, my friend. It's so nice having you here. Isn't it neat to think about the energy we put into preparing food to receive energy, energy recycling, right? So, like, Jovan and me had like a chat this morning. She went to bed nice and early. She's trying to restore her sleeping schedule. So she went to bed like at 8, woke up at 4 a.m. And she said like the hardest time for her, you know, to get moving, if you will, or the hardest time of the day is right when she wakes up. And quite literally, you know, it's physics. An object at rest wants to stay at rest. And yet we literally, you know, through the utilization of food, the utilization of this energy source, we overcome these physical boundaries, if you will, or physics boundaries, animate ourselves and move into this reality. burning food to do so. It's quite surreal. And it makes you think as well, just the importance of the food you actually eat. Like if you let's talk about it in a case of if you're going to have a conversation with a let's go romantic even. So you're going to talk to this person that you love, and you're coming closer to me, bruh. One of the freaking cobra chickens are eating at me. Anyway, like if you're going to be talking to a loved one and you're going to be sharing, loving thoughts, loving actions, loving wada, then how would you want that energy to be perceived? And again, where does that energy come from? If you're like eating, and I'm not saying you're wrong in doing so, but if you're eating only like Big Mac burgers, and then that is what your fuel source is to go and communicate, to share, to experience your reality, and to express into reality with the utilization of only Big Macs as your fuel source, is that going to be something you want to do? Do you think it's something your loved one, this romantic partner of yours, is going to appreciate? And it's maybe like a little bit of a up in the air type of subject or something to consider, but it is something I really actually do think of. Where are you now? I'm in South Africa, friend. Thank you for asking. How are you? It's nice to have you here, my beloved friend. Hey, Amane. It's nice to have you as well. Oh, Kavel. Hey to you, dude. How are you doing? The wall of art, no words. Right? Right. So to you friends who don't know, and there's so many of us here, so if you are willing, to share love, please do reach out to our friend called U slash Viking Queen. E's spelled with threes. She's an absolutely amazing artist. She recently actually got a coffee shop owner to put up her little paintings, in his shop, framed and all. It looks amazing. I want to support her. If you would be willing to as well, I would love that. 50 pull-ups, damn, I can successfully do 4. I didn't do them consecutively. I'm not that strong, Shavan. I spread them out, over a bunch of different sessions. Good morning. Take my energy. Oh, Toasty, please. So takes a little bit of Toasty's energy, puts it here. Ooh, yes, feels good. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for the energy as well, Gav. I appreciate it. Wow, 2 weeks must have been hard. It's not that hard, interestingly enough, Abyss. It's not that hard. Technically, you're doing less. You're not really exerting yourself, really. The thing with fasting, the thing that makes it difficult more so than anything, is just your mind. Again, like your body is kind of fine with not eating for extended periods of time. There's a reason we store body fat as a fuel source. It's to utilize it when we don't have food to eat, and fat is also the highest, calorie per highest amount of calories per gram fuel source. Like where protein and sugar has like 4 calories per gram, fat has 9. So we store these literal fat pockets in our bodies to be utilized as fuel. And then that's basically what you force yourself to do. You stop eating, you make sure you drink enough water, you make sure you get your salts, you make sure you get your multivitamins, and then your body just eats fat. And the biggest struggle is more your mentality. Like you'll go through these waves where ghrelin gets released, your hunger hormone, and then you'll feel hungry. Like you'll be like, oh, I need to eat something. And then if you can get past that again with your mentality, you'll basically go back into not being hungry. And the first 3 days are usually the hardest because it's during those 3 days where your glycogen basically gets completely depleted, and then through the depletion of your glycogen, your body starts switching over to the burning of fat, turning them into ketones, and then using that as your fuel source. So by day 5, like for me, the hardest days, like mentally struggling, was day 6 and day 9. And the rest of them is kind of easy. You're, as I said, you're just not doing something. So I appreciate you thinking so, Abyss. It's not that hard though. Russian with Alex. It's nice to have you here, bro. Thank you for joining us. And thank you again for the energy, Gob. Bro, you're getting closer to me. You're getting closer to me. Like, you can do your thing. Like, to you friends who don't know, that baby that was a little bit damaged in a rough position made a full recovery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not seeing him now. Oh, there he is. Oh, little dude. Like, let me show you. Let me show you. Look at him. Bruh, you're getting close to me. I'm sitting still. You have free reign of the entire farm. I don't want to eat your babies. They aren't scrumptious. Freaking cobra chickens. Oh, Dog Ghost, it's nice to have you here as well, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Push-ups done in slow motion, concentration exercise will tone your abs, arms, back, and chest. You're very right about that, my friend. Controlled descent, controlled extend, and then the same thing goes for pull-ups as well. I've been doing these exercises where I'll like pull myself up and then I'll hold myself there and then I'll, just like kind of do like a short range of motion as well. Lifting the legs. Yeah, exercise, dude. Good for your body. Again, something you have to do mentally first. Like, it's crazy. Like, our biggest barrier is our mind when it comes to, the betterment of our bodies. And I'm not sure why. Our minds are arguably more intelligent than our bodies are. And yet, with that intelligence, it kind of trips us up. Like, I know this is not exactly something that is nice to say, but there is this meme where there's this like memed monkey looking at a human and is like, oh wow, you're so intelligent, you have such a big brain. And then the human replies, my big brain tells me to kill myself. Like, I'm not suggesting that. I'm just like laughing at the irony of that, just as a saying, that our minds have this ability to convince ourselves of things, to make us do things, to get in the way sometimes. Like, ideally, our bodies will exercise and enjoy exercising, but there's also an extent to that. Like, we do get tired physically, and our bodies will let us know when we're tired physically as well. But the biggest boundary to exercise is our mental, getting there. Like, you have to kind of force yourself sometimes to just actually go and do it. And I wonder why that is. I wonder. Electrolytes are what plants crave. Yeah, not really, actually. Plants crave water, sunlight, and carbon dioxide. That's all it technically needs. I mean, it builds sugars. I agree with that, and that way they crave electrolytes. But if you pour a bunch of... Oh, wait a second. I mean, like, again, they're getting the minerals from the soil. Like, it's not what they crave, though. It's something that helps, but technically most of the stuff that makes up a plant comes from the air. If you're here, who's watching the wall? Bruh, I'm on vacation, man. Look, I'm wearing Hawaiian shirts. The wall has melted, dude. I live in South Africa. Okay, Downtown Touch. Is this guy for real? Am I real? Sometimes I believe I'm real, dude. Sometimes I'm not so sure. Indeed, friend. Really super heater. Oh, sorry. What about it exactly is to look cook shit, dude. I don't feel anything of it was. We've just been talking about dieting, talking about food, talking about fasting. But yeah, sometimes you'll see what you want to see. Short shorts and a scarf. Yeah, it's a little bit out of place, but the scarves are being worn more because of for nice than it is for functionality. I love your style, man, and I love you, Ghost Scholar. Thank you. I appreciate you for joining us. Oh, Ghost Skull Rider. Literally just a group of friends who love one another hanging out. You're welcome to stay and get some love if you want. Thank you, Kira, for welcoming our friend. 3 day lol. One is fine starting. Yeah, exactly. One is great as well. Like what I said, 3 days. If you want to manufacture, if you will, the machinery inside of your body to fast properly, 3 days is kind of where you want to go. If you want to do fasting for health benefits, 1 day a month is more than enough. And if you want to go and do some research about this, 1 day a month can like have some significant health benefits as well. Bruh, bruh, dude is like right behind me. Cobra chickening it up. I saved one of your babies, right? I'm pretty sure I like them. They'll be fine. Look at these dudes looking at me. I am going to stop eating forever. I mean, I think you'll have a hard time doing that, friend. Consult a doctor before fasting. I agree as well. Like, I'm not giving you advice on what to do. I'm just sharing personal experience. Can I join? No, unfortunately, we're all full buff. You can join us in this, though. In these streams where you'll be loved, friend. That's all you need to do. Hey, Edmund, I've been missing you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. It's nice to have you here, brother. Fasting for 2 weeks is not healthy. Don't listen to fake science. So, Carlos, why do you think it's possible for us to fast for 2 weeks, dude? And what gives you the idea that fasting for 2 weeks isn't healthy? There's a dude that fasted for 384 days. 384 days. He was about 270 pounds overweight or something like that, and he fasted for that long, drinking multivitamins and black coffee. And the bra survived, not only survived, but literally was a shining example of health by the end of his fasting window as well. 2 weeks fasting, if you have the body fat to do so, isn't unhealthy. If you're already scrawny, and I'm not judging your body type, just if you don't have excess body fat, then don't fast. You're fasting to utilize excess body fat. You're not fasting purely, especially not for extended periods of time, for the actual act of fasting. Fasting for a single day, even if you have low body fat, can be beneficial as well. But if you don't have enough body fat to sustain that, don't fast for 1 month and replace food. Yo, see, dude. Yo, Swiffy, that's a little bit much, dude. I have absolutely no idea what this dude is trying to say. Buff, I'm a little bit lethargic and feeling a little bit like I'm being dragged through syrup as well. Thank you for bearing with me, though. Thank you for the glow up. I appreciate that, BTC. It's nice to have you here again, friend. Studio Word salad, yummy. Nom, nom, nom. I super ease myself into it. I super ease myself into it. I cut out meats for a few days, then carbs and sugar, then solids, then fasted for 10 days, then eased back in reverse. That sounds amazing, actually. That's even better advice, actually, Javan. Thank you for saying that. Just a collection of words and stream of consciousness. Yeah, that sounds like every conversation ever. Buff. Like, I'm not, trying to force anything down your throat. We're just having a conversation with one another here. You're hearing nothing. Hippies, yeah. Listen to all the nutritional, I'm guessing. The nutritional blocks are the same. A molecule of glucose is not going to change how it works just because it comes from a different source. Yeah, that's true as well, Carlos. And for that reason, believing that drinking fruit juice, like technically that's fructose, but it gets turned into glucose as soon as it gets into your body as well. Believing that fruit juice is going to be healthy for you is a complete logical fallacy as well. You can't do stuff like that and expect to be a shining example of health because it's still essentially sugar. As soon as it enters your body, as you're saying, no matter where it comes from, it's still going to do the same thing. I'm trying my best. Thank you, Puff. Thank you. You could be more wrong, but it's alright. Try hanging for a few streams. Yeah. Like, this is all about you, dude. Like, there's a reason I'm reading your comment as well. He's talking about the body going through ketosis during fasting, bro. It ain't rocket surgery. Rocket surgery. Yeah, dude, it's not rocket surgery. Toasty, you freaking absolute G, man. When it rains, thank you for the love, my beloved friend. Mathematical. I'm not sure where that's coming from, Mariah. What if I want to do an extended fast, but I need to eat to take a medication? Consult with your doctor. I think that's the best answer I can give. Language. No. Look at me. Yes, look at Cody. Don't fast if you need medication. I think that might be better advice as well. I won't give advice on something like that. I think consult your doctor when it comes to that. Patters, that's what I called it. These little ducklings. Oh, they went back to the water. Baby. I think that's literally what people do when they speak in other words. Yeah, look at me, yeah. It's literally a back and forth. And I don't even think it's a look at me. It's kind of a pursuit of an idea, right? It's look at this idea. Look at fasting. Look at what fasting can do for you. I lost 19 pounds in 2 weeks. Like, no diet is going to be able to do that for you. And if you do it responsibly, if you take care of your electrolytes, if you take care of your vitamins, if you drink enough water, it won't be, like, health-wise bad for you. And I'm like, do your own research still. Don't take my word for it. Whereas, with a calorie deficiency diet, it will literally take you months to lose that much weight. And quite literally, instead of having to spend months slowly but surely kind of eating away at this fat source, in doing so, basically always depriving myself of the proper amount of nutrients that I need in my day, it can create this, at least in my opinion, this dragging feeling as well, where you're like, I hate this diet, it sucks ass, nah. I was able to do what some people do in 2 weeks. I was able to do in 2 weeks what some people do in months, with traditional dieting. And that's what it's about for me, dude. I'm a little bit of I want results now. And that helps. Fasting does help for that. And it's something to consider. It's another tool in the kit, if you will. You don't have to do it all the time. I wouldn't even recommend that you do it more than, if you're going to do extended fasts, I wouldn't recommend you do it more than twice a year. But fasting in its own is good for you. It autophagizes dead cells. Your body, when it's in a fasting state, it no longer has the luxury of just kind of dishing out different cells, dividing in a way that is not necessarily, perfect. As soon as your body realizes, oh goodness, we're strapped for energy, it reevaluates the way that it produces everything. It doesn't necessarily do so loosey-goosey, if you will. It does so with this intention of making sure these cells are produced perfectly in a way that is going to serve you, so that when you do have access to food again, or when you have to go out and metaphorically hunt again, you will have the strength and the ability to do so. Fair enough. Yeah, I think that's also a good idea. Cody replied to the wrong guy. He lives. We live, my friend. He's living as well. Little baby. I'm so happy. Like he's actually doing really good, very strong. Show us the bebes. I've shown you the bebes, my friend. They love him now? Yeah, I think so. I don't know if they hated him necessarily, Toasty. I just think he was weak, and then his weakness was like they tried to kill his weakness, and then me holding on to him and like giving him a little bit of space to gain his strength back. Maybe that to them was proof enough that he maybe is strong enough to be a part of the pack. Like I shared yesterday, yesterday, that I wanted to, give him back to the parents, and then they were just kind of like walking away from him. And then we left him in the box for a little bit longer, exposed him to some sun. He drank some water, and then my dad took him again and put him back with them, and then they, took him back in. Like he's walking with them, fortunately. Delicious friends, melty, delicious friends. Oh, the best. Plus, with all honesty, this logic for fasting is senseless. Is it, Carlos? Have you done the research? You do realize that there is people who get paid, literally have grants written to them to do research about this stuff. I'm not exactly sure what's senseless about it. It is an essential tool for human health, I believe, and there is health benefits to it. Our incessant need to constantly consume, like there's so many people who never go, more than a few hours without eating something. And again, there's a reason our body stores body fat. So if you're doing this constantly forever, you're just eating every single day, making sure, like you're going to bed, and then you frantically want to eat something in the morning because you haven't eaten in 8 hours. That is not something that's healthy either. It's also something that's senseless, in your words, if you will. Being able to incorporate, a day worth of fasting once in your month has health benefits. That's the sense to it. Bruh, 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 you're coming close to me. Look at this dude. You're the one close to me. You're the one close to me, man. I'm not walking you over here. Yeah, eat your grass. Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's do it, bro. Did that thing just hiss? It's hissing. It's hissing at me, Toasty. I'm like literally just like vibing, and this thing is like giving me flack. He grifts and says nothing. Let's do it, bro. Fake stories about fasting and minuscule evidence of what you're saying. Carlos, I'm sure you're, very knowledgeable friend. People have even fasted and they no longer needed medication. Yep, but again, consult your doctor first if you have any worries. I literally know people personally who are diabetic, dude. Started fasting, didn't, start off fasting straight off. But again, if you're fasting and you're diabetic, quite literally, your body doesn't need to produce the insulin that you're constantly injecting. That's the word. Like I'll say spite, the Afrikaans word for it. And then they have to stop, dude. They literally have too high insulin levels when they, break their fasts, and they reduce their amount of insulin. Like it's absolutely crazy, bro. Like health benefits of fasting. You don't have to believe any of what I say. I would actually recommend you don't. Go and do some research for yourself. Like I would also like to know what your body composition is like, Carlos, and what your diet is like, friend. Like you're probably not even here anymore, but yeah. And how would you know they're fake? I'm curious as well. Like that guy who was fasting for 384 days, he was actually documented. Like he had a literal team of scientists, following him, making sure he stays healthy. And there's photo evidence of it as well. If you look at his before and after photos, it's clearly him. It's literally humanly impossible for him to lose as much weight as he did in the time frame that he did. And he did it. Like, these stories aren't fake. You can't fake this shit, dude. Bruh, stop. Stop that. Stop it. I'm not doing anything. This dude, have you? No, dude. That's too long, man. I don't think I'm comfortable with that. Science changes daily and facts change constantly. It's a personal decision. It is indeed, Candace. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm sharing from personal experience because this is a personal experience I went through in the last 2 weeks. That's literally the basis from which we create sometimes. And that's why I'm creating in the way that we are right now. Oh, thank you for the hugs, my friend. I've studied medicine and I have read those studies. I'm sure you studied medicine. Like, you're not saying you're a doctor, you're saying you studied medicine. So, Carlos, maybe I'll reach out to you, my friend. You must clearly be an absolute shining example of health. Matthias, thank you for the tree hugs, my friend. So many hurt souls in the stream today. Hey, you. Yeah, you. We love you. Yes, Cody. Thank you, friend. We do love you, friends. Like, I'm just feeling a little bit tired and don't want to deal with this shit right now. Read, a lot of people read but never experience. Exactly. It's a personal experience with fasting and what they learned from it. Absolutely. Let's all take a breath and remember that debating can be done with kind tones and text, or instead of debating, we can just listen or keep scrolling our pan. Yeah, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, if you don't want to listen to what I have to say, I'm not forcing you to be here. I'm here for you. You don't have to be here from me, and I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with it either way. When I did my 30-day fast, I got to the point where I asked myself, why do we even eat? I had so much energy. Like yesterday, you saw me as well, Candace. I also had such a, extreme visceral sense of energy. And I had that same energy this morning as well. And I do feel I have lack of energy now after having eaten, which is kind of counterintuitive. But but it's not sustainable. We don't have indefinite amounts of fat in our bodies, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately, it would be a little bit unfortunate if we just had infinite fat. Entire universe suddenly becomes you. And the energy showed. Do you drink broths on a fast? I didn't, friend. Like broths, I couldn't make myself proper bone broth, so I didn't do a fast, unfortunately. For show it showed. Yep, electrolytes and multivitamins and water was all I needed. Yep. That is technically all you need if you have excess body fat. I have missed all of you. I've been channeling energy from all of you in the past few days. Hope you don't mind. We don't mind at all, Edmund. We've missed you, my friend. It's so nice to have you here again. Good thing I've been sending energy your way. Intermittent fasting, in my experience, is optimal. I agree, actually, Buff. Intermittent fasting is also absolutely fantastic. And again, you're implementing the same fundamental idea. You're spending a certain period of time in a low insulin state where constantly eating is literally spiking your insulin. You have excess insulin in your blood. This excess insulin kind of like absorbs all the nutrients there is to absorb, and then there's still insulin left in your blood, keeping these little cells open. Open cells, this is me kind of simplifying it. Open cells stimulate the release of ghrelin. Ghrelin tells you, yeah, I'm hungry again. You eat something again, the insulin spikes again, and it's this roller coaster that you constantly put yourself in. If you can do some intermittent fasting, you're spending a certain period of time without that insulin roller coaster, and when you don't have insulin in your blood, your body has the capability of burning fat. Take it, energy sponge, Edmund. What's up, my friends? I'm doing well on the fast is broken, and I'm feeling tired after having broken the fast, like very tired. Oh boy, I knew I was feeling some extra special love from you, friends. So absolutely, Edmund. I was thinking about you as well, my friend. Moving while Mercury is in retrograde may not have been the best idea. We've been getting through this. I do not know what that means, actually, Edmund. Mercury is in retrograde. I've heard it so many times, but I've never been curious enough to find out what it means. Says, oh man, biggest hugs. Melt, we have the same fog here yet this morning. I'm happy I don't like saying that. I wanted to say I'm happy I'm not the only one, but I don't necessarily want you to be feeling this brain fog as well. I'm happy that you are willing to share this space with me and still be your loving self regardless. Don't sugars from fruit have soluble fibers which help curb the sugar spikes. Unlike refined sugars, it's a bit different. Plus, sources of natural sugar have vitamins and minerals. You're right. You're completely right, my friend. But then you have to actually, eat the whole fruit. You're not putting the fruit through a blender, because as soon as you put it through a blender, you're breaking up those cell walls to the point where it becomes extremely bioavailable. And then it's just as just as good as drinking plain sugar. If you're eating normal fruits instead of eating sugary, like if you're like let's take amount of sugar for amount of sugar, fruits versus chocolate bars. The fruits theoretically will have the same amount of sugar in it as your chocolate bar will have, but because of the fibers, as you mentioned, the sugar release from the actual fruit will be significantly slower. It will also be, as you're saying, all of the micronutrients, uh, like vitamins and minerals as well, and you won't have that in a chocolate bar, for example. Don't chew gum when you fast, you turn into a balloon. What? I didn't actually chew gum, but what do you mean turn the balloon? Do you feel bloated? I'm curious actually, Viking Queen. Hashlinger. Good morning, friends. Ooh, from a hospital waiting room. Happy to see you. Happy to see you, my friend. Are you waiting in the hospital waiting room for yourself? Are you waiting for a loved one? We would be willing to send you some love as well, my friend. We have some chickens coming and saying hi. I don't think these chickens have ever gotten this close to me out of their own. Interesting. Like I'm curious, I'm like thinking, like maybe the geese know that I've been fasting and that I might be in a state of hunger, and that's why they're hissing at me. But these chickens are getting nice and close. If I was really hungry, they would be scared. mm. Oh, all is well, friend. Por favor, why is that? I'm also curious, actually, Kira. I don't know about the reasons behind that. I have an interest in fasting, but I have an issue with past eating disorders. As do I, Katie. As do I, my friend. Like, fasting can help with that as well. One of the things that helped me with fasting is reevaluating what you want to do once you stop fasting. So, if you've been, experiencing an eating disorder where you kind of find yourself, eating at ridiculous times of night and you're eating things that aren't necessarily good for you, fasting can reevaluate the importance of food to you, and then as a result of that you can kind of change it. Tummy ache and burping. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I love all of you. Thank you, Aunt P. We love you as well, my friend. When you chew gum, you swallow little bubbles with your saliva and they add up, turning into bigger bubbles of air in your tummy. Okay, I didn't know that. Why? Don't know why my mind jumped to Violet from Willy Wonka turning into a blueberry. Oh man, that's a yikes. The biggest yikes was them still being purple afterwards. My sense of smell improved amazingly. Mine too, Candace. Man, it's crazy that you're saying that. It was so, like, my sense of smell was so heightened that I would be in my room, with the door closed, and I would literally be able to pick up on exactly what was being cooked in the kitchen. And I felt like I was, gaining the superpower slowly but surely. Even though I couldn't taste the food, I cooked for my husband, said my cooking was amazing. That's amazing actually as well. Oh my god. Would you rather go to space or Jurassic Park? Jurassic Park times 10,000, man. Gory. Craig, like space is kind of empty, for most of it. If you're mentioning going to space, in the context of you can go to this other planet with, its own biodiversity and creatures that live there and amazing plants and stuff like that, then space would be the answer. But just space, like space is 99.99 lots of nines empty. So yeah, Jurassic Park all the way. Unintentionally is likely key. You were concerned you'll fall into former patterns. That might be it as well. And again, as I said, it's like about that aligning. Where do you want to find yourself when you break your fast, if you will. Those were the parts of you those were the posts of yours that were most incredible for me to witness. Yeah, they were. Like, Candace, I really take my hat off of you, my friend. You are so powerful. I was about to ask the same. Mm. It would be good for that if you talk with your psychiatrist, if you had one caring for your eating disorder. I agree with that, Carlos. Whoops. Scrolled and figured it out. Yay, Dan is here. Glad you finally got something to eat, Esteban. I'm as well, dude. Like, I'm not feeling actually that happy about it. Like, I'm feeling less than I did yesterday, interestingly enough. I would rather have my state of mind of yesterday being completely fasted than the way I'm feeling right now. But I know that this is, just my adjustment period, so it's going to take a while for my body to readjust to eating food. Giving your body a break to focus energy on other things is a good thing. I agree. To clarify, what I meant for this logic of fasting is senseless. The logic of where the energy you use comes from has an impact on how you're doing things. That is senseless though, but it's not, Carlos. Like when you're fasting, your body doesn't use glycogen after the third day anymore. So, on a literal level, your body uses ketone bodies as your fuel source. Ketone bodies has been proven to be a better fuel source for your brain. So, none of what I'm saying is senseless, dude. If that is your reason for saying it's senseless, man. Like, believe me, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been fasting on and off for the last 5 years. Is it 5 years? Since I was 18? Yeah. For the last 5 years, dude. It's not senseless, man. And every single time you get into a fasted state, your way of operating does differ. P.S. Candace, I'm putting my arthritic fingers down and giving up on perfection and sending the mini me and all the wiry nature friends for your girls and a Mandela for you. Hubs got Cash App. Sorry, I'm just a little happy. Be happy, my friend. I'm happy for you as well. Thank you for sharing that, Kira. Hmm. My mom also has arthritis in her pinky now. One of the biggest contributors to that can also be vegetable oils, unfortunately. I want her to get better as well. I'm sorry to hear that, Kira. I know about it, but I can only imagine the pain. According to what you have read, we personally have experienced these things. Exactly, Candace. Like, man, someone wanted to come and tell me, my actual personal experience is false. I'm like, bruh, have you done it? Have you haven't had an extended fast? Have you felt the mental clarity that comes along with that? No? Then shut the fuck up. Sorry, just mild spice. Like the love cake needs a little bit of spice every now and then just to make things interesting. How dare you apologize for being happy? Anyone else got stuck in their head and cannot handle art being not perfect? I have a problem. More cowbell I can't fix. Oh, Candace. Kira, sorry. I've been literally not touching a piece that I've been working on because of that same fear. Like every time I work on it, I'm like, this isn't right. And then I stop again for a while. So I think it's probably all of us, my friend. Or cowbell. Immediately watching this skit when the stream is over. I don't understand the cowbell skit, unfortunately. A little bit. If I don't eat for a while, I almost feel good about it, which I know is unhealthy. No, it's actually not, my friend. And like, what is your not eating a while? Is it, 3 days? Is it a week? Like one of the biggest things that might be unhealthy, and this is something that people do as well when they try fast, is they try and eat like lightly, and they'll eat like berries and small fruits, and as a result of that, their body never actually switches over to burning fat as a fuel source. So it constantly uses this little bit you're giving it, kind of depleting you from all of your glycogen storages, and your brain then also, as a result of that, doesn't have enough glycogen to function properly, as do your muscles as well. If you can cease eating completely, then your body will switch over to fat, and that can actually be healthy. On repeat, of course. The power of believing is beyond amazing. That it is, Candace. And we have the power to believe in ourselves. You know, like that's also one of the things that someone can take away from you. That's why I feel so strongly about this. It's like it's literally not only something I believe in, but something I have a reason to believe in. How can cowbell not help? But seriously, yes, I relate too much to this. So much of my art never gets finished, or I ruin it because I get too nitpicky. Yeah. Oh, the freaking awareness. Sometimes, like we have this image in our heads, and it's so complex, and we try and express this image, and it's sometimes almost impossible for us to do that, and then we get into our own heads about that as well. That's fair, but you also are aware of it in a way that you wouldn't have been in the past. Yep, that's true, Cody. I think I could handle it. I think so as well, my friend. I got just depressed as shit making things and finally had a breakthrough of just send it. I think so as well, my friend. I think that's the best. Thank you for the hugs, Infamous One. It's nice to have you here. When this happens to me, which is very often, I have to say to myself, the only thing stopping you is you. Be nice to my friend, myself. You got this. Yes, you do, my friend. Absolutely. Or you feel comfortable doing it. Start slow. Take care of yourself and your mind first. I agree completely with that as well. I'm so relieved, so relieved. It's been weighing so heavy on me while feeling like a Pompeii cloud is constantly chasing me. Man, you make me feel so much better. You are so loved, Kira. Like, there is absolutely no judgment of one another in this space, fortunately. We accept. We accept. Like, okay, you know, no matter what it is, no matter how you perceive it, we will accept you as you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I keep counting them because I know there should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There he is. Okay, all of them are still there. Hey, woman in a van. Thank you for joining us, my friend. It's so nice having you here again. How are you doing? All you need is already here. Got that is good advice, and I wrote it down on my things to remember list post of Virgie, the birch tree who lives in my basement. It's amazing. We love you so much, Kira. Absolutely. I just keep trying so hard to make it something else when I have something perfectly perfect already in front of me. When I make art with lions, it releases me from my own standards and I'm able to more freely create. That's amazing, dude. I haven't actually been, or I haven't tried really to create, art when I'm in a psychedelic state of mind, if you will. I would actually like to do that. Oh, Chickums. Yeah, the Chickums. Thank you for joining us. Women in a van. It's nice to have you here, friend. Perfection is overrated, especially when it already is. Perfection is an illusion, technically. Because no matter how perfect you get something, there's always going to be, a next level of perfect that you can have on top of it, if you will. So my nana died. So my nana did finally pass on Monday. There is a mass that I'm attending on Saturday, and it will be difficult to see my dad again. It's sooner than I wanted it to be, but this is the way it goes sometimes. Dan, you got this, dude. I hope that your dad, meets you with compassion. I hope he's willing to listen, dude. I'm sending you so much love, man. I'm so sorry about your nana. I love you. Everyone could have your mindset, absolutely. Have a gem in the chat. Yes, we do. We do have a gem in the chat. I'm here. Thank you for joining us, my friend. I am. Hoi hoi, it's insane. My main. Thank you for joining us, dude. How are you doing? You absolutely slayed in stream today. It's insane. Did a skating stream, like our Panception stream, where he was listening to other streamer friends and then skating to that. And I was like, yeah, that's insane. Fucking genius, you, man. I love you so much, dude. It looked like it was a lot of fun. Love to you. As you navigate this loss, for which I am so sorry, please let us know how we can best support you. Sending so much love. We're here for you, Dan. Listening, feeling with you, my friend. Sorry to hear that, Dan, and I wish you luck with your dad. Hope things stay civil and go smoothly for you. I believe they will. I'm speaking into the universe. Freaking timing of silence when you were ready to head back. Wishing you the best. Amazing singing today. Oh? Huh? Woman in a Van was singing? I missed that? Damn, I have to go and check it out. I heard you were skating to my singing. Thank you very much. That's amazing. Precise. Having y'all to share it with. Thank you for the positive vibes. Thank you, my friend, for being willing to share this, experience with us. We love you, Dan. Love you. There we go. So much love. Yeah, you were hitting it, lol. I love that. I will have to go back and watch, assuming you haven't deleted it, lol. No way. Yeah, Sensei doesn't delete his streams. Thank you for doing that, dude. And thank you for being willing to go and check it out as well. When a woman in a van, Miss Gem. Hold up, you sing on stream? Oh, mama. Yeah, I was also surprised. I've never heard, Gem sing before, so I have to go and check it out. Doit. Bruh, normies today. Yeah, a little bit. Like, I don't really have a problem with anyone in particular, but I am very much, uh, I want to say, obsessed with accurate information. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but if you're going to say something, you can say pretty much whatever you want to, but make sure you know what you're saying. Make sure what you're saying has some kind of basis in fact. Make sure that you're not speaking from your ass. Then I'm happy to listen. Like, I do the same sometimes, talking some nonsense, but I'm not talking this nonsense with this guise of, this is the way that it is. No, no, don't. Just please. We don't know anything, not really. And especially, when you know things, like when you understand your personal experience, with example, with fasting, with the health benefits that are associated with it. We have actual scientific studies to back these things up. And then someone wants to tell me, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna stand for it. We are fast. I'm not dead after 2 weeks of no food. Yeah, I'm still very much alive, and I have to say as well, my body did let me know that I'm supposed to stop. And I ignored it for a day, like for about 12 hours, and then my body gave me another indication: it's time to stop. And then I listened, and I think that is also something very important. And if I didn't do this, if I didn't have this experience, I wouldn't have that experience either. I wouldn't, get to this level of awareness to how your body communicates with you. Sometimes, yeah, lol. That's a points award thingy on my Twitch, where I do a singing/dancing karaoke session on Arpan. That's amazing, Gem. To you friends who don't know, Woman in a Van is also a beautiful streamer friend here on Arpan. That rhymed unintentionally, as is insane as well, actually. I told, I'm told by my, I'm told by so many people I'm living about fasting. I'm lying about fasting for 32 days and that I would be dead already. Yeah, you can only lie to yourself at the end of the day as well. What's there to lie about? How do I know for certain you're still alive? Here comes the real questions, insane. Yeah, can't wait to watch. I'm supposed to have a meeting right now, so I might just poof away. It's okay, it's insane. Thank you for joining us, friend. It is set at 10k points for a reason, Lamau. 10k points to have you sing? That's a lot of points. I don't know how many points that is, but that sounds like a lot of points. I don't know either, but thanks for hanging with me in either realm. Well, damn, I'm sure it's fine, chosen family we have here. It really is. I've been adopted. Yes, you have, Insane. Thank you, our child. It's nice to... Sorry. I adopt everyone I love. Chosen family are the best family, which is easy for me to say as I don't have the best relationships with my blood family. I think my relationship with my blood family is better than it has ever been, Gem, but I also feel sometimes that the family I've chosen for myself is more family sometimes than my actual family can be. Hi there, so happy to be part of your love session. Cheers from France. Oh, major temperature. So happy to have you a part of it as well, my friend. Cheers from South Africa. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Chosen family is the best. That's beautiful, actually, Cody. Love this one. Yeah, me too. So, we're thinking about having our first trip in the new place for the night of the 31st, obviously Halloween. I'm curious what the energy would be like. Thoughts? Like I instantly started thinking things, interestingly enough. So I'm happy that you're asking me. My thoughts, as soon as you mentioned you want to like have a trip on Halloween, is I was like thinking, are there going to be kids showing up to try and trick or treat? Are they gonna come and knock on your door to ask for candy? If so, then maybe it might be a little bit of a yikes, just because of the interruption. Like you might be in like a train of thought, and then have to do a little bit of song and dance, and then rinse and repeat all of that stuff. So I thought like that may be like a problem. But if you're going to be isolated, if you're not going to be disturbed, then maybe just the energy of Halloween, the camaraderie, the partying, the energy that is being brought, with the celebration of death, if you will, might be something that's beneficial even. What do you think about it, actually, Edmund? Same here. Uh, I've even go a bit further to say that I feel we've always been disconnected and are finally being drawn together for a higher purpose, maybe even some co-creation. How about that, Kira? Finally someone got the saying right. Oh, it is a beautiful saying as well. Sounds terrifying. It might be, Cody. It might be. I should clarify, there will be nothing Halloween related influencing the trip, just the energy of the. Okay. You see? Like, we were thinking the same thing. So I think it'll be fine in that case, man. Like, I have friends that like, playing with lions and watching scary movies. I'm very much not one of those type of people. I'm like, bro, why? Why are you doing this? He's like, because I'm feeling even more into it. I'm like, yeah, I guess. But no, no, not for me. Don't be a sissy. I'm like, I am a sissy. I am. I'm gonna be sissy. No, I'm not gonna do that. I feel the same way. People come into our lives for a reason, and whether they stay for a day or forever, it's the connection in the moment that matters. I had to like sprinkle the moment in there. I agree completely, Jem. I genuinely do, my friend. That's why I appreciate it when you friends, just spend a second with me. It's it's more than I can, ask for sometimes. The energy of a Samhain flying through the air. Samhain! Is that? Yeah, it's still terrifying to me. I low key hate Halloween. Really, Cody? That's interesting. Why? Like, I would love to know more. Is it because of the scary vibes? Is it because of the dressing up? The manic energy that human beings kind of take onto themselves when they hide their faces? Because that's also something that happens. As soon as we conceal our faces with a costume, then we suddenly have this weird way of doing things. That baby is laying down. I think it might be the one that got hurt. Like, he does this thing where he takes these mini power naps. All of the rest are eating, and then he just like kind of sits down. And like today, while watching him, I like saw him just like sitting down again in the same way he is, and I was like, is he like knocked out again or something? And then he lifted his head up again. I'm like, okay, no, he's fine. Mm. Leaving soon for the last appointment for my current psychiatrist. Our insurance changed, and he doesn't accept it. Oh, like now I'm a little bit angry. Very, very anxious about how they will be handling my medication. If I can be a bit selfish and ask for some good vibes. You're not being selfish at all, Kira. Good vibes are plenty to be shared. You are worthy of every little bit of it. I hope you have a good time. I don't know if it's gonna be a good time. I kind of want to fight your psychiatrist or your insurance company or both of them. You know, I might lose, but I still want to fight them. I'm so sorry, my friend, and we love you. I hope it all turns out beneficially, in the way that you would hope for it to. Hey, Batman. It's nice to have you here, friend. Good vibes to you, brother. Thank you, Lost in Space. Oh, I appreciate the good vibes, man. Oh, I'm feeling them. Thank you. Thank you so much. Not selfish. Take all the good vibes, my friend. Hope the transition goes smoothly. I hope so as well. So much good vibes being sent your way, my friend. I'm actually not familiar with that Samhain, but Halloween, my girlfriend absolute favorite. I don't know if it is, but there's this Bollywood movie where the superhero literally just like flying kick someone from across the room, like fly 6 meters through the air, and that's where my mind went instantly when I read the name. But I'm not sure if it actually is that. Thank you. I love you too. I love you times infinity, and we you, my friend. All the love. I thought of that, but I'm waiting until after trick or treating hours. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Because that in my opinion would be the worst thing. Like one of the things that is very important to me is my train of thought when I'm in a psychedelic state of mind. Like I'm experiencing something and I'm moving through this experience, and then it's like I'm just imagining ding dong, you know, tuck 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 on the door or something like that. That just is my brain is like nah, none of that. If she's into it, you'll likely have a good time. Samhain is a reference to a Celtic festival of the darker half of the year. I am biased, obviously. You, obviously, my friend, get to be biased as well. There's no hate for it either. Thank you for sharing with us, Cody. I love the spooky season. We don't have Halloween here in South Africa, unfortunately. I've never actually dressed up for Halloween. I wanted to this year, but I can't really afford a costume. Oh, that's very good though. I hadn't considered being a celebration of the dead. I might get some new insight about death or something. I'm feeling that way as well, man. Yo, an old friend I had likes to watch movies on Lions. I don't understand. She'll drop 2 tabs and binge Band of Brothers. Ugh. Um, I mean, I'm not judging it. Again, it's experience. She wants that experience, but like, there's so much that you can experience. I feel self-reflection in that state of mind is something that's so beneficial. Spending some time outside as well, but each to their own. If that's what she likes, if that's what she wants, then let her have it. I like scary movies. I like lions. I have zero interest in mixing the two. Thank you, Edmund. Yeah, I feel that way as well, dude. It's a good series, but sheesh. I'll be around. Yeah, I can't be around battles like that. Band of Brothers? I don't actually know what the series is. So if it's a violent series, it makes even less sense, man. That little duckling looks so tired. I get it, dude. I feel the same. Like the little babies aren't scared of me, so they keep walking closer to me. Like literally every well, four of the adults here are like watching me like a hawk right now as this little baby is coming closer. Is that enough? They're so cute. Their little wings are so adorable. Oh, little babies. Yes. Mm, it's a good idea. But, oh yeah. What's this all about? What are you talking about? For most of the stream today, we had a conversation about fasting. Now we're talking about having a psychedelic experience during Halloween, friend. What do you think about that? Internalized hatred. It's an interesting name. Did you choose it for yourself? What were you feeling in choosing that name? I'm really curious. Just a random, well wishing internet friend. Hey, Paul. Thank you for joining us, my friend. It's nice to have you here. Hope you're doing well, brother. My friends put on the show Mr. Pickles one time while we were tripping in high school, and it was a horrible. I also haven't seen Mr. Pickles, so I don't necessarily have a correlation to it. Like, I'm so concerned about that baby. He hasn't stood up from that spot since he went and laid down. Like he's still moving, and it looks like every now and then he's munching on the grass around him. Sending him good vibes. I wanted to dress up as Eve, Pokemon, and have my girls be different evolutions of Eve. Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds really amazing, Candace. I love that. I will, baby. Do you know all the world mysteries? No, I probably don't know most of the world mysteries. That's why they're called world mysteries. Because they're mysterious. I don't know any of them, unfortunately, dude. That's a fun one, right? I love that actually. It's the manic energy of the day night for sure. Kicks up the fight or flight. Plus the time of the year. The sun begins to disappear until the solstice. So this time of year is not my favorite. Apart from the snow. I love the snow. I mean, like, it's just the celebration and the intention behind it. Like I feel the celebration of death. Like I don't think necessarily in American culture that is really what they plan on doing. I feel it's very much a reason to party and escape normal life these days, and as a result of that it can be a little bit interesting, if you will. I do get where you're coming from, Cody. Come come fight. Oh, please melt. Fight this douchebaggery with love. I want to, friend. It's absolutely unacceptable. I made a pyramid head costume from Silent Hill, of course. One Halloween, it was awesome. Even if I do say so myself. Yeah, you see, like that type of vibes. Oh, he stood up. Yeah, he's vibing again. He's significantly smaller than the rest of them, and he does this thing like where he like plants his little feet and then he bites onto the grass, and then he pulls, and then he'll pull so hard that he'll like push himself off of balance. Cute little thing. You go and eat them grasses. Yeah, Silent Hill, very much fucking terrifying. I could do a super campy scary movie. Super campy scary movie. Like where the people are camping and then they get killed by whoever kills them. Is that what you mean, Toasty? I'm not exactly sure what is this about. We've shared with you, friend. Like Cabin in the Woods. Oh hell no, dude. Or okay, Dale and Tucker versus Evil. Dale and Tucker versus Evil is like satirical horror, right? And I did actually appreciate that. But a movie like The Ritual, for example, also kind of campy in the middle of the woods. That was also very terrifying. I can see this, but you made it in the van and can't get it out, so you just threaten people from the door in your van. Yeah, a pyramid head just drives a van around. I think it would be pretty terrifying as well. What is Pyramid Head gonna do with that van? What happened to the Malaysia flight 370? I have no idea, Batman. Do you know? Slinging your metal chuck fan blade at people. If anything, I could probably do that, but still not sure what the vibe I'd want. That's the vibe I'd want. Yeah, yeah. I'm also not very sure. Like, if something I would recommend you watch, if you have to absolutely watch something on psychedelics, watch The Midnight Gospel. I feel like that show was made for you to watch it while under the influence of something, even if it's just a joint. That show is amazing, and it really is very much aligned with the type of thoughts you think, in that state of mind as well. Yeah, that movie is quite something. No one can answer that question, the Batman. Unfortunately, we can't. Who needs a costume when you already look fly as fuck? Oh, Batman, thank you, friend. I appreciate your love so much. You flatter me. It was quite a few years ago when I lived in a house, but I'd love to stand there and yell at people from my van. People would shit themselves. Like, yeah, Pyramid Head is so ominous, like the dragging of the weapon as well. It's just no. It's just all of the no's. No, 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 no. None of that. I gotta post my parents' incredible haunted house they've put on for decades. Light shows and graveyards and maze, but family friendly. That's amazing, Kira. That's the first time I'm hearing about this actually. That you, Bruce? Donation only. We've raised over $50,000 for the local children's hospital. Halloween ain't all scary. That's amazing. Kira, wow. I'm I want to say I'm proud of you, but I'm just so impressed and so happy about that as well. Is Gob here? I don't think so anymore. Go pet that wee wee baby. Like these cobra chickens will kick my ass if I try and pet one of those babies, bro. I like that melt like more good vibes. That was great. And I love you, Salt. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for joining us as well. How have you been, Salty? Mr. Pickles is an animated show about a homicidal dog. It's incredibly violent. Uh, Tripping and audio lurking. Here's camera shift to Goosey Babies. Immediately snaps to attention to stream. I want to see. I want to see. Was the first in the stream. He's lurking like me. Oh, Gob is still here. Kinda, if you will. But Gob was here very first, yeah. I have a picture somewhere. I'll try to find it and post it in Mel's Discord. We would love to see it. Thank you, Jam. Thank you for being willing to share, my friend. I tagged you in a video clip on the Discord. Yeah, the nature of everyone I know, using it as an excuse for getting blackout drunk, being the sober person at the party, doesn't bode well for me. Yeah, you see, like I didn't want to go to saying that, but it's also something that kind of disappoints me. Is this excuse, to do whatever it is you want to, dress however it is you want to, lose your mind, kind of. And it is a bit unfortunate sometimes. I'm just watching these babies. Other baby is still drinking water. They're walking away from you, dude. Catch up. Catch up, catch up. There he goes, he's running. I think by now you can chillax, huh? Like these adults are just watching me like, don't you dare move. I think, after a certain amount of time, you have to start to correlate. But maybe I don't want to hurt your babies, huh? I'm talking to you. Yeah. Yeah, you. You're looking at me right now. I literally saved that little one right behind you. When you left him, what do you say about that? Oh, Nod's head actually. That's what I thought. Campy just means corny. Thank you, Toasty. The Exorcist scared the shit out of me. I didn't watch that ever. Cabin in the Woods, a parody. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. It's so easy to be sober around stoned people, but damn near impossible to be sober around drunks. Yeah, because for some reason you have to be as drunk as them as well. When it becomes a drinking thing. Like as soon as you're not as drunk as them, then suddenly you're not relatable enough, unfortunately. I just saw. I'm so pumped, Gob. Yee! I'm looking forward to it. I want to see as well, actually. Right. Uh, the sober around stoned people. It really is that way. Futurama is nice on Sykes, but usually if something's on TV, for me it's just Fractal Zoo. Guess who can comment in distance socializing? Morning to you, Heather. So happy to see you here, my friend. Thank you for joining us. I'm sitting here covered in sweat, and I never got the meeting invite. Gotta go shower, shake my head. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's insane. Maybe they just had to admit, sending you that link so that you can be here with us right now. Yay, baby go, baby go. He's going. Like he's definitely slower and definitely less strong. Not as strong as the rest of them, but he's surviving and it makes me so happy. Like I genuinely did not think he'll pull through. And there he is. Just vibing. Walking about, munching, having his little divine experience. And remember what happened yesterday? Or not yesterday, the day before yesterday? Someone was like, why don't you just put him out of his misery? That's why, brah. No putting things out of their misery. That little thing wanted to live, and it did, and I'm happy. I know I'm chatting the tall. I'm I'm catching the tail end, and I still wanted to share some love. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you so much, Heather. Most Americans have interesting relationships with alcohol. Like, what's interesting to me is how glorified alcohol is in America. And yet, ads for like CBD products that literally save children with epilepsy's lives, got denied. While at the same time, just, alcohol ad after alcohol ad gets forced down people's throats. It's a very weird like contrast, and especially if you understand how stupid it is, it's very weird. Can you cut my toenails for me? I would, Batman. I would actually cut your toenails for you, my friend. It's cause you're pointing your two eyeballs at them. Yeah, 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 yeah. Bird brain predator alert. Yeah, so what Toasty is saying is very true. So technically, like predators, on our Earth have front-facing eyes. So as soon as I point my front-facing eyes at their babies, they're like, he is specking, he's checking them out. Wants to nyom them. But they were still giving me flack even when I weren't looking at them. So I'm not sure. I wish Americans could be more low key about drinking. When my good friends and I get together, we have a handful of drinks, and any sober person could definitely hang. I feel like I'm missing something, and I get together, we have a handful of drinks, and any sober person could definitely hang. Like the emoji afterwards is kind of throwing me a little bit, Dan. Because it's like a could definitely hang, like could hang, oh well, guess you're also here. That's the vibe I'm getting, like I've done this multiple times where other people were drinking and I was just smoking joints, and they were okay with that as well. They were like, okay, I guess you are intoxicating yourself somehow. And then they were like, why aren't you drinking? And then I just kind of give them the answer that, oh, I just don't like the calories. It's also an answer that they can't really argue with, because if you're drinking, you're kind of gaining weight as well with it. It's definitely ingrained into American culture in a strange way. It is. It really is. Drinking to relax seems to be absent in American drinking culture. Yeah. Unfortunately, like unless you're drinking, with a meal or something like that, where you're trying to enjoy like a glass of wine, I think that would be like a means of relaxing. Or you're drinking a beer with a friend, and then having conversations. When it becomes like a binge drinking thing where the intent is to get drunk, and that's something that's unfortunate about alcohol as well, is you have to consume a lot of it to get drunk. So it's this weird loop, almost, I want to call it, where you have to drink a lot to get intoxicated, and then every single time you drink, the intention isn't just to have a drink and have a conversation. Again, it becomes to get drunk. And where with a joint, like technically the intent is to get high, but I can take a single puff and experience the feelings that's going to be associated with the high. You can't do that by taking a single sip of a beer or a whiskey, for example. And that's what's unfortunate. It's not the actual alcohol, it's the quantity of which you have to consume of it to actually get the effects of it. So much truth. My friends love to drink. They're also like 4 to 5 years younger than me, lol. They'll learn, they will, Toasty. Like, eventually you realize alcohol is kind of not all that. It's kind of stupid slash boring slash unenjoyable, especially as you get older, because then your body starts to pay the price for that as well. Like, why would you want to celebrate with something that makes you feel like ass? Millie, it's been a while, my friend. It's nice to have you here. I'll get to your comment right now. I meant that if sober people they could have a good. I meant that if sober people were there, they could have a good time with us. The emoji was directed at American drinking culture. Okay, thank you, dude. I understood what you meant by that, and then that little emoji was like, what does it actually mean? That's the thing with emojis. Technically, it can bring a lot of intention slash information to a text. Where, like, if I say one thing with a smiley face slash saying the exact same thing with like a straight face, then one is like whimsical slash joking, and one is me being passive aggressive. That's Like it is literally just like a small little image. We're so keen on recognizing emotions as well and human faces. So, does anyone experience the munchies after smoking marijuana? Does it depend on the marijuana, the amount you smoke, the person? So, Millie, technically, marijuana is a cannabinoid. With inside of our bodies, we have endocannabinoid systems. Attached to our endocannabinoid systems is our, like, what's the word for it? Um, Appetite. So what happens is when you smoke weed, your endocannabinoid system gets basically activated, and alongside with it, your appetite can get activated. And as a result of that, you get the munchies. So a lot of people do get the munchies. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the amount you smoke or the actual marijuana, but saying that there are certain strains who have different levels of cannabinoids, and depending on those levels of cannabinoids themselves, not necessarily the strain, you'll be able to experience more or less of that munchies, if you will. I lost interest in drinking to get drunk as soon as I turned 21. Now, a little bit of alcohol on occasion to enjoy, but I'll remember the last time. But I can't remember the last time I got drunk. The last time I got drunk was in 2017, 2016. Fuck. That's a wrong time ago. Yeah, that was the last time I got drunk. And also, for the same reason, like for me, like we start drinking when we turn 18 here in South Africa as our legal drinking age. But we, like, legally drinking, but we, like, literally start when we're like 14, 15, because living in a small town, with less than 5,000 people, drinking is like the only thing there is to do. So we drank a lot during my youth. And like when I turned 18 and it was legal for me to do so, I had a really bad experience where I actually blacked out for the first time in my life. And the act of blacking out and the stuff that I did during my blackout was so unacceptable to me. Not only the fact that I blacked out, but the fact that I was making decisions. Like I took an entire, like, key rack, like it had one of those little wood things and then little hooks on it, and then people were hanging their keys on that. I took that key rack off of the wall, carried said key rack all the way to the cars, and then started, like, went to the car I liked, and then I tried every single key to try and find what key it works for the car. And it happened after me and my mom had a fallout, apparently. Like, I heard this the next day, unfortunately. So I wanted to get out of there, and I'm just like, bruh, you can't do shit like that. Not only did you want to drive, but you wanted to steal a car and you were intoxicated. And that's not something that I see myself doing in my normal state of consciousness. And to me, that was just like a clear indication that nope, no more getting drunk. Like, I actually completely stopped drinking alcohol afterwards for almost 3 years, where I didn't touch the stuff. And now I'm also in the same boat of I'll have it by occasion, as a way of enjoying something, not so much as to get drunk. When I drink, it's usually one glass of wine or a hard cider. I have a low tolerance of alcohol and can feel it immediately, like 3 sips, and it tingles down my legs and arms. I'm happy to hear that, actually, Heather. That sounds like a win to me. Millie, certain strains of weed stimulate hunger more than others. Generally, you will get the munchies. Yeah, like, you probably know what I'm talking about as well, Dan. Like, I'm not exactly sure what the cannabinoid is called, but there is a certain cannabinoid, and depending on the percentage levels that is found in the weed, the munchies get stimulated more or less. I'm the opposite. It takes a lot to get me drunk, which makes it even better that I don't seek out getting drunk anymore. Yeah, dude, and it's so, like, it's neurotoxic, and it's just toxic for your body in general as well. So I'm also happy that you're not doing that anymore, man. I used to be the same before I cut out completely. I used to seek it out, and it took a lot. Yeah, it's not fun. Frankie, love to you, my friend. Thank you. Where can I get clothes like yours? You go to a mall, like a strip mall or like a normal mall, and you just walk, down the aisle, and you look at, into stores where they sell normal button-up shirts, dude. Go in and find yourself some. The scarves, this my mom gave me, and the rest of them, one of them Christian gave me, one of them Adam gave me. By the way, like I've talked a bit about Adam. Like Adam was the friend I told you about who I felt was no longer my friend, you know, not because I didn't want to be his friend anymore, but because he wasn't replying to my messages anymore. So like I've sent him over the last few months like 12 messages without him responding, and yesterday he actually did. He actually started talking to me again, and he was apologetic about feeling like a bad friend. And I said to him as well, dude, like, you don't have to apologize for anything. Didn't stop loving you any less. I'm so happy that I didn't listen to the voice that told me to just, give up. Love is true, friends. Love is true. It took a long time, but the picture is shared in the work Discord. Thank you, Jem. I appreciate you, my friend. That's good, Edmund. I oddly have the opposite effect with other drugs, high tolerance for pills and medication. I have I have had two procedures in the hospital, and they have a hard time knocking me out. That is curious, Heather. Like I find something like that so fascinating. How different substances affects different humans differently as well. Like I'm also one of those people that are less affected by like psychedelics, for example, or at least I used to be. I feel like for some reason, the more I take them, the more like neuronal connections I build to actually be able to experience them. And it's also very curious. I'm 40 and I have been drunk 3 times in my life. I don't care for it. I prefer marijuana. Millie, and your body does as well, my friend. Your body is thanking you for not getting drunk and getting high instead. Have the opposite effect. I think I got it, my friend. Don't worry. Oof, that's rough. Both a blessing and a curse, depending on the situation. That's true. If you like wanna, just have like a drink or two at night with your friends, then it's an absolute blessing. But if like I'm not sure what pills you have been taking as well, Heather. Like, have you ever tried psychedelics, and do you have the same effect of that? Cheers, Fab. Thanks. I too devoutly practice Buddhism. Edmund, I snuck out to my car and it takes fat bonker. Thank you for joining us, Toasty. It's always so nice to have you here, man. How have you been, dude? How have you been feeling? Are you still taking a little bit more time off from your classes? And since you have, how have the classes gone? Even in the instance where nothing bad happens after a blackout, I still always feel super unsettled that I can't remember what happened, right? Like it's just not something that I approve of, on a conscious level of like being in that state of like, what the fuck happened? Why can't I remember what happened? What did I do? It's just that's not a state of mind that I like finding myself in, especially since I remember almost everything usually. Like I have a pretty keen memory, and then kind of priding myself on that, especially during that time, I was very obsessed with my intellectual prowess. Not remembering something, I was like, oh hell no. I don't care for being drunk either, Millie. It just doesn't feel good to me. Other people think I'm weird, but when they're partying and saying, have a drink, yeah, I also don't enjoy the feeling of being drunk. Like again, the lack of inhibitions, like you feel kind of like you're being thrown around by yourself almost, if that makes sense. One of the worst feelings is being told what happened the last night and what you did, even if you didn't do anything embarrassing. It is, dude. Like it feels like you're lacking, dude. Like maybe that's the way I'll describe it. It's unsettling feeling for sure. Delta 8 makes you hungry. Okay, that's interesting. Or seeing videos. Ugh, that's even more yikes. Ooh, seeing a video of yourself completely blacked out drunk. I can't even imagine that. Videos are even worse. Yeah, dude, that sounds hectic. Feels like you're not even watching yourself. So disturbing. Adam reached out. Woohoo, he did. He did, Toasty. He actually did, bro. I was surprised and I was so excited that I went and showed my mom. I was like, look, look. I was so happy. Uh, my heart. Yeah, dude. It makes me so happy as well. Yo, Delta 8 is pretty good. It's pretty cool, man. Like I'm curious now as well. Like Toasty recently got some Delta 8. Weed is similar to opioids, where if I have a hard time being affected by anesthesia, weed wouldn't affect me. Like I'm not sure about that, Heather. It would be something you have to experience. to say for sure. I mean, maybe you might be more susceptible. Like technically, weed and cannabinoids aren't that similar. Like your cannabinoids, do they work on your endocannabinoid systems? I'm talking about opioids. Do they work on your endocannabinoid systems? I'm not sure they do actually. Like I don't recommend you smoke weed, Heather, but you'll have to do it if you want to know the effects of weed on you. Have a gob day, everyone. As I hope you do as well, Gob. Thank you for sharing the space with us. It's possible, but not necessarily guaranteed. It goes, it goes they different yeah, it goes through a different process. I agree, dude. The fuck, I just remembered what I told you about my old friend. We both had a reuniting moment with old friends in the same week, right? Like he actually wants to have a phone call with me tomorrow, and I'm like, okay, I'm like free the entire day except for between 4 and 6, and he's like, okay. So I look forward to that chat as well. It's dinner time, but it has been awesome. Love you, Mel. Have a fantastic day slash night, everyone. Love you, Jem. Thank you, my friend, for sharing this space with us. Not necessarily, definitely an opioid reacts with your body. Not Buddhism, Buddhism. Take off the hat. I'm sorry. Of course, Buddhism, dude. I love that so much, actually. Greetings and salutations to you, Theta Niner. Thank you for joining us, my friend. We'll be at a little bit at the tail end of the stream. Thank you for sharing the space. For sure, Dan. I had an ex-girlfriend who was an alcoholic, but was 3 times the size of me as well. 6 feet tall. She was in the military. I got so tired of having to drag her home and it taking hours and being a spectacle. Oh goodness. Oh my. I'm taking my hat off for you, Heather. Like, if someone gets drunk to the point where I have to drag them home, like I'm just not going drinking with them again. And that maybe sounds a little bit hectic, but I would not I would not encourage that behavior either. I'm happy that it's an ex-girlfriend, even though I'm sorry about the breakup, my friend. Hey, Buddhism. I like that. We took Delta 8 with us to the Lantern Festival. It was nice. It sounds amazing. Like, apparently, it's a little bit more, in Toasty's words, less anxiety inducing as well. So, just more of the calm vibes. Ugh. Ooh. Friends, thank you so much for joining me, for sharing this space with me. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. I need to rest a little bit. Love to you. Eternal blessings. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.